Hello friend and welcome back. Today we are talking about Educated Mess Freeze Frame Peptide Serum Concentrate. Alright, first off, I am an Educated Mess fanboy. I love Alex. I think that she is doing wonderful things to breathe some energy and excitement and transparency and honesty into this industry. So already a little biased, but I did purchase this with my own money, as I do with most of my reviews. I'd certainly let you know if I was getting it for in exchange for a review or as a gift or anything like that. But I just wanted to try this because there's so many cool peptides on the market right now, and this one is one of the pricier ones, so just wanted to see if it was worth it and share my experience with you. So it is a nice lightweight serum. It's lightly moisturizing. It does have some glycerin in it and a unique little moisturizer that's supposed to give like 30 hours of lasting moisture, so that's cool. It has sort of a soft touch, well, a soft touch finish, but also just a soft touch feel when you're spreading it, and wind up with this satin finish. So already helping you out with a little bit of cosmetic witchcraft that will give you a slightly blurred appearance, so those fine lines will seem a little bit softer right away. No discernible scent to it. Alex mentions, and she talks about her own products pretty honestly. She did mention that some people don't like the feel. It has some menthol lactate in it, which is also a lightly moisturizing derivative of menthol. It's meant to give it that freeze frame effect, because sort of like cooling effect. If you don't enjoy that, Alex has mentioned that you can just put it on later on in your routine. So the more serums or moisturizers that you put on beforehand, the less of that lightweight cooling feeling that you will experience. For me, it does feel gimmicky. It feels like, even though menthol lactate is a less irritating derivative of menthol, it's gimmicky. I don't know. It just feels like one of those unnecessary ingredients. It's like an unnecessary fragrance. Like, yeah, it might feel cool initially, but if you're looking for a long-term usage, I would prefer something that's just as inert and benign as possible. So, wish they had left that out. But that's about my only complaint about this product. So, we'll move on. What is it supposed to do? Well, it's supposed to help plump up fine lines and wrinkles, as well as remove some of the dynamic motion. So like that Botox in a bottle like effect. Now, these peptides are getting a little bit more interesting because they're getting better at doing that exact thing. Will it replace Botox? Probably not, but it does help to minimize those dynamic lines. So dynamic lines are the ones that are only there when you move. Static lines are the ones that are there when you're just sitting at rest. So it should help with both in some way, but they're definitely trying to target the dynamic expression lines with some of these peptide complexes. So that's cool. They have some really cool studies behind it that show pretty significant improvement in short periods of time. Just remember that any manufacturer photos and consumer studies that they put up, they're going to show the best of what they have, and that's not to fault them. That's just to say, yeah, they can put out really, really great pictures. This might be somebody who responds particularly well. They might be an outlier. The delivery systems and the research that's gone into these peptide complexes, I think it does probably yield some good results in most people. So, temper your expectations. I really appreciate Alex's transparency, and when she comes online to talk about these products, they're clearly her babies. She's super proud of them. She's super proud of this brand, and she presents information from a cosmetic chemist's lens, which is obviously her specialty. But I love that because she talks about how, oh, this peptide complex is in other things, and that's where I got interested in it, and I heard about it from manufacturer, and this is how it interacts. So she's able to go in depth as far as the formula, as opposed to some brand founders, even if they're well educated or sort of in the industry, they don't have quite the same insight as a cosmetic chemist. So that's just a really cool thing. Few complexes in here. I will not try to break down everything, but let's talk about the highlights. First off, there's diamond powder in this, and it seems very gimmicky, and since we know, the menthol lactate, maybe a little gimmicky there. I thought, yes, this is probably going to be a gimmicky thing to give you just sort of a glow or a blurring effect or something like that. but I was wrong. It is actually part of a stabilization complex for palmitoyl, pentapeptide 4, and resveratrol. Resveratrol, awesome for skin health and well aging. Palmitoyl pentapeptide 4 is also going to help with collagen stimulation and firmness and just all the things we want from a well aging serum. The diamond powder doesn't help deliver the ingredients, but it does help protect them from degradation once they're actually in and on the skin. So that's pretty cool. It apparently, per the manufacturer, so take it with a grain of salt, is able to increase the active time of those two ingredients, of the palmitoyl, pentapeptide 4, and resveratrol, from about 30 minutes usually to 36 hours of activity, just because of how well it protects them from degradation, from environmental stressors and ROS and anything else that would help break this down while it's trying to do its work on your skin. So that's super cool. Then there's a complex that palmitoyl tetrapeptide 50 and hepatapeptide 15 palmitate bound with lactic acid and glycolic acid copolymer. That copolymer, the lactic acid, is present in 0.000006%. So it's basically nothing. All it does is help it penetrate the skin a little bit better, helps with that delivery system so that it can actually get the peptide inside of that shell to where it needs to go. What's even cooler is the core peptide has another peptide around it as a drone or delivery peptide. So it has this glycolic lactic acid copolymer to help get it through the skin, and then also a peptide to really get it to the cells where it's going to have the most efficacy, and then that shell breaks away and delivers the actual peptide that's going to help boost collagen and the extracellular matrix and help plump the skin. So very cool technology there in these teeny tiny little microscopic particles. Similarly, palmitoyl hexapeptide 52 and palmitoyl hepatapeptide 18 have some helpers with glycolic lactic acid and polyvinyl alcohol to deliver to another site on the skin, but this one is more focused on those dynamic lines. So this is the freeze complex that is meant to target dynamic lines, expression lines, those lines that result from movement on the face. And it's just another cool delivery system that's going to help it get to exactly where it needs to be so that you can use smaller concentrations of the actual peptides and not just hope and pray that it actually winds up where it's supposed to be. So that's what gets better efficacy out of the technology that we already have. The ingredients that we already have are these really amazing complex delivery systems. And then last but not least, methyl glucoside phosphate and copper lysonate prolinate. This is a newer ingredient to the market. Its trade name is Neodermal. Pretty interesting manufacturer research that shows an increase in collagen 1 and collagen 3 and elastin production, all three of those. Some big claims. I will wait to see more research on it, but they really do show a profound increase in firmness of the skin as well as a decrease in deep wrinkle depth, even just at 15 days. So the visuals and the reviews are out there. People are liking it. I have liked it a whole lot. I've seen some reduction in my tech neck lines pretty quickly. I've been using this for over a month. I want to say about month and a half, 2 months or so. Some days it's 2 times a day, some days it's 1 time a day, but just I've enjoyed it. It's lovely. I don't feel a whole lot of the minty tingle, so I like that. But I did notice I tried to put this on pretty quick after doing some laser, and that felt a little spicier than I liked. So again, I just wish that they wouldn't put in ingredients that are unnecessary, especially when they can cause some reaction to your skin. Otherwise, it's in good packaging. It's pretty. This is relatively recyclable. You can break it apart, and it's an airless pump inside, so that's going to get all of the good stuff out of there. The only thing I did notice, this little hole can get clogged if you don't use it real often. So a couple of times I left it for a few days, this got clogged pretty good, and I had to pick it out with a sewing needle. So that was kind of annoying. Otherwise, it's great for travel because you can twist this and there we go. And it will lock so that it doesn't open up in your bag. It is $95 for 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce. It's available relatively globally. They use a phenoxyethanol preservative system, which is just fine, and it's cruelty-free. There's not a whole lot of info on the website, but when you dig deeper, you can see that they do have that as one of their stances, as being vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. Overall, I like this. I will keep using it to the end of the bottle. I'm trying out a lot of peptides, so we'll see if it earns a spot on my shelf permanently, but right now it's very promising. So until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Be well, my friend.